Welcome everyone to the Ara River Valley. This is where I woke up on day 155 of my third trip through Europe. I have already walked more than 200 kilometers through the Pyrenees from the ocean to the sea, but I can honestly tell you that I haven't met Jesus yet. Until last night. He was sitting in a cottage by the river, not far away from here, cooking soup for dinner, and he didn't look much like Jesus. He was older, thin, had short hair, and spoke Spanish. But it was him. His name was Jesus. And it was he who put me on the right path. As an experienced mountaineer, who has hiked not only the entire Pyrenees, but also the Alps, Jesus has climbed the highest peak of the French Pyrenees several times and advised me not to go on the trail on the southern slope without an ice axe and crampons. He said it was very dangerous to go there with such a heavy backpack and without proper equipment. He showed me difficult sections on his map and advised me to walk around the mountain. So I decided to listen to his well-intentioned advice and not to climb the peak called Vignemale that towered over us. But I still wanted to see the northern slopes of this ridge, so I returned to the border with France and set off further east on the GR10 trail. And in this episode, I will show you the whole trail around the peak of Vignemale. And I begin here, on the banks of the river Ara, the sound of which both lulled me to sleep and woke me up. I had breakfast of bread, eggs, and tomato, packed my sleeping bag, and prepared for the hike. Another bright and hot day has begun. At this moment, I had no idea that I was in for a real stormy evening. That evening, shortly after I pitched my tent under the north face of Vignemale, the rain came, and after sunset, a heavy storm. At night, however, the weather calmed down, so I managed to fall asleep. And look, what a beautiful morning I woke up to. This giant rock towering over my tent is called Vignemale. It is the highest peak of the French Pyrenees. The first documented ascent of this mountain was made by the English traveller Anne Lister with 3 local guides back in 1838. This took place a full 124 years before the first tourist lodge was built and opened in this very valley. If you cross the Pyrenees on a similar trail that follows the border between Spain and France as I did, the next few steps will lead you to this chalet. It was founded on the initiative of the French Alpine Club in 1962 and completed in 1964. It offers everything you might need on your trip. But I just washed myself in the sink and continued to the next pass. And let me tell you that the hike up this side of this mountain is really worth it. The trail meanders up the steep slope that offers wonderful views and plenty of water for your well-being. And at its top, you have the option of climbing Le Petit Vignemale, which is often an alternative for those who don't want to climb the main peak via the glacier. I decided not to climb Le Petit Vignemale either, because the feeling of either everything or nothing prevailed for me. So I stayed on the trail and continued east. From here, it is not far to the next chalet on the trail, and it is from this slope that you will have a spectacular view far into the valley, the bottom of which you will soon reach. But until then, you will encounter a few places worth mentioning. This is one of them. Welcome to the highest service chalet in the Pyrenees. The first refuge was built here in 1900. It is from here that climbers most often start their ascent to the peak of Vignemale. From this chalet, it is only about 600 meters down to the places where you will have a view of the remains of the glacier, which lies on the side of Vignemale. The glacier lost a record 4.5 meters of thickness in 2022, and experts predict that by 2050 it will be nothing more than a memory. Further along the footpath, you will come across freely accessible caves in which you can spend the night for free. It is among the 7 caves dug on the route to the summit by a Frenchman with Irish roots, Mr. Henri Russell, who fell in love with the Vignemale mountain. My day's journey ended in this valley. Exhausted, I set up my tent and fell asleep within 2 minutes. And how the new morning greeted me when I woke up above the dam in the distance, you can see in the next charts. For my next walk, I chose the trail around Cabañ de Lourdes, towards the Spanish lake Bernatuara. But I heard that the trail around Refuge des Saradets is also beautiful. But this time, I decided for the Spanish side of the Pyrenees, because I was told that near the village of Torla, I should come across the most beautiful valley in Spain. I didn't know it at the moment, but the 3 most demanding days on the trail were ahead of me, during which I desperately searched for water, had to spend the night on a flooded slope with hikers, and the climb to Monte Perdido was not one of the easiest either. But that's just life on the trail. Every day is different. And you can believe me, that's what I enjoy the most about it all. In the next episode, I will look at the most beautiful places on the Spanish side of the Pyrenees. I will sleep on the ridge overlooking the valley, but also the 3rd highest peak of the Pyrenees, which I will then climb. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to support production of more videos. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.